Hey, what's up everyone? It's Rinku, and today I'm going to be editing my UI because this just looks disgusting. Before this video starts, I just want to let everyone know that this video is a very long video. I'm sure you guys can already tell it's longer than 40 minutes, and in the past when I make really long videos, people comment about it. So this is not a tutorial or guide, this is just me editing my UI and explaining why I do so. So if you guys don't want to see a long video of just my thought process, if you guys are looking for guides and tutorials, this is not the video. Just skip this video and I have more shorter, more helpful videos. This is just me editing my UI the way I would, and there is a lot you could learn from it, but it is a very long video of me babbling about some things you may or may not ever use. So hope you guys enjoy. Here you guys go. Alright, so recently I reinstalled BDO because I'm using a new drive for a new install of Windows, etc. So all my UI was reset, and I figured this would be a perfect time for me just to show everyone what I actually do with my UI. Now, there's several ways your UI can get messed up if your game crashes right after you change something, or sometimes they do an update, specifically when they changed it through for presets. I believe mine was messed up at that time as well, so I'm constantly redoing my UI. But I think I have it to a staple where I feel like I know exactly how I want to change it every time. I feel like I just copy the same thing now. So I figured I'd show you guys what I have going with my UI, and maybe you guys can help me improve my setup I have going here at the end, or suggest anything. But this is not how you guys should set up your UI. There's gonna be tons of variations. You guys can do whatever you guys want, whatever helps you play better is what you should do for your UI. There's also a lot of things you can't even change. Unfortunately, there's things like these buffs up here and certain things you get down here. You just can't move them. It kind of sucks. But the first things, I guess first things first, is to edit UI right here. This button allows you to edit most of the stuff. You can click and hide and show things. And we're also going to be doing some settings. So every time you make a change, you want to save it. They have these new presets, so we're gonna save everything to preset 1, and that's that. So there's a lot of stuff on the screen that we don't want. There's a lot of stuff on the screen that we're gonna want to move, and there's also some things in settings that I'm gonna be doing just in this that will hide things or change things, and I'll just go over everything, UI and settings, everything I have going for me in this giant screen of ugly UI. So the first thing in edit UI that we're gonna want to do is hide this really annoying tips line. I don't understand why it's automatically on at all times. It never turns off. If we save that, it's gone. So that's that. I'm also going to be referring to my main live stream overlay on OBS. This is what it looks like right now when I go live. It hides my channel up here. I can put some information here and hide stuff, and I don't really need to hide in-game chat that much, but I like to put my Twitch chat over it, so that's why I have this anime moving background right here. I don't even think it's moving right now, but no, it is. Okay, so you guys get the point. So this is what I'm going to be basing my UI after, and the reason why I bring that up is because I based my Twitch overlay, I based it on the UI I had in game. So I actually had this in-game UI first. I just want it to be similar in dimensions. So you'll see my chat. What we're going to want to do is put it in the very bottom corner, so that way we get rid of that emptiness on the bottom, and save it. But to actually change the size of this box, you click and drag this. So you can make this however big you want. I think it had smaller dimensions before. I don't think it could get this big when the game came out. I don't remember, but we can definitely move this around a lot. And if we go to this is why I'm doing this. Normally I would size it up to this to make sure that it's the exact same size I have through all my videos. We're gonna drag it down a little bit more so it hides that top thing, and that looks good. So if we go back to the full screen, you guys can see how big it is. Now it is kind of cutting all this stuff off, and that's because I move it over just a little bit. Now I feel like this is the good size to read a good amount of things and just digest a lot of text, I guess. It's a big enough screen to work with. You can make it smaller or bigger, however. But based off this chat is where I'm going to move everything else. So these skills and stuff, everything that's under this will have to be moved over. There's so much more UI to go through. So let's just go to edit UI, and if you look at this high rank equipment, this again is another thing that you almost never need. It cannot be adjusted, really. So you cannot even hide this widget. I guess that's what it's called, I don't even know. So this tells you if you have a better piece to equip in your inventory, but more than likely you'll never need to look at that. Most people have one set of equipment and they never look back, and for some reason, like when you equip it to do life skills or whatever, it's just not needed. So what can you do with it? You can literally, unfortunately, if you put it out of the screen and you click save, it doesn't actually go out of the screen, it comes back. I remember that problem I had a long time ago. So you can't actually hide this, you can't actually move it off your screen. What can you do with it? You can put it behind your minimap. I'm serious. If you put it behind your minimap, you'll probably never see it again. And you can put it behind other things, I'm sure. But this is the only solid thing like that's big on your screen. And assuming you're going to have a minimap on your screen, you might as well just put it behind it. So that is the best way I've found to like hide that. And that gets rid of two problems that we don't really need to look at ever, like in our entire life. Now, you can hide your quests if you want. This one, I believe, it has an option. Let's click this. Do not show. So you can hide the quest until you hover over it. And also these three, I believe, it has an option to show 3. You can click do not show. So this is the recently updated quest. It shows the last 3 updated quests. You can show 1, 2, 3, or just none. And you can click confirm. And when you hover over it, you'll still see all your quests. But when you don't need to see them, you don't. And if you want to look at your like recently updated quests, or if you want to see this at all times, you can turn it on at any time by just going to options, etc. So I like having that off. Now, this one right here is your main quest. There's 3 main storyline quests, but this is just showing you the next absolute quest in that chain of quests. So it's useful for when you're first starting the game, when you're trying to hit level 50 for the first time, etc. But when you get to high levels, either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. You probably don't need this showing at all times. You can simply just hide it as a whole UI unit. And if you, like, for example, if you didn't want to hover over this, if you just did not want to see this at all, you can also hide this as well. Save, and now it's just gone. It's completely gone. And you can turn it on at any time. But for the most part, I actually don't need it on unless I'm going out of my way to quest. And if I'm doing that, I can go out of my way to show it again. So that's not that. So we got some good stuff going. The next step would be probably moving these. I really like moving them on the top of my screen. Now before I used to move them in the top middle, but now with my overlay I specifically move them so they're kind of hidden because they don't really need to be seen on a live stream. They're just kind of there. So if we look back here, I just kind of moved it so it like disappeared on like the black box. That's where it ended up. And then we can put this here and see how that looks afterwards. If I can just get it lined up. I think that's perfect or close to perfect. Save preset 1 there. So it's kind of behind stuff that's honestly intentional, and that is because you guys don't need to see it at all anyways. It is kind of hard to hit, so I think we're gonna move it a little bit down though. So edit UI, move it down. Probably just on the edge of this box. I think that's what I did last time actually. So if we look at this, sorry about that, we're back, and this is basically where I ended up moving them. So I moved them in the bottom corner. I think that's where I had them last time, and it makes a little bit more sense with my layout. I realized that in between cuts. So we're just gonna save this in preset 1, and yeah, so it's actually behind stuff, but if you look on my main overlay, it's perfectly hidden, it's way out of the way. I guess this is there, I could move that up a little bit. I think that's what I ended up doing last time. But you can see all of them are like out of reach, and what I would do if I didn't have that black box for my live stream, if I wanted to just make it like look normal, I'd probably just move this over. Like I'd literally just move it right here, and it would still be the same, and it'd be really nice. You could probably put it in the middle, so avoid when these buffs get a little bit more longer, but you don't have many buffs up here that often. These are pretty much the most you'll ever see. But yeah, really quickly, let me just move this up. Hey, that one went up automatically, so maybe if I match this, it'll work. It's like 1 pixel off. I hate this. You can definitely see if it's perfect or not. It's interesting. And if we move back to the overlay, it's kind of there. It's kind of there, but it's kind of not. So I guess I'll keep that for now. And now we have the rest. So I guess what's really important is the skills and stuff, but let's go in the settings before that. I'm sorry. We're gonna have everything up high, everything except for high-end mode. This is the only thing that actually like kills my FPS. I have a 970. You know, this might not be a problem if you have a 1080. And also, after the Windows install on an SSD and having BDO on an SSD, I actually have not had a single problem at all. But I think that's just because I had probably like a virus or something on my old computer, to be honest. I'm just slowing it down. Those are my screen settings though, max everything except for high-end setting, audio, game. Now the game settings are what we're actually here for. We're gonna use auto align quick slot, and that's gonna extend our 10 slots to, I believe, 20. We click confirm, and what that did is originally, all our skills were actually on this bar. This is the bar that you get automatically. It has 10 slots, but when you click the button that I just clicked, you get 20 down here that can all be moved. So this bar doesn't actually matter ever. You can just put it wherever. I actually don't need to save that, but you get the point. So it was all from that one setting. So when we actually do move skills later on, it's because we checked this one setting. Use auto align quick slot. Again, I have no idea why the setting says use auto align quick slot. It is the most bullshit thing. Why can't it just be like extend to 20 skills or something, or quick slottable skills? It just doesn't, this title doesn't make sense at all for the button. I constantly stare at the screen and cannot find this one button. So there you guys go. As far as the rest of the stuff, Simplify UI, it makes it nice because it makes things disappear when you're not using them. If you click confirm, apply, whatever, I think I already clicked apply, you can see that the top of this chat bar is actually fading. Like my HP and MP bar are gone because I'm not using them. Oh, you guys can't see because I'm still on that, but there you guys go. You guys can see it's like transparent a little bit. This is gone. So it hides the important stuff. And also I noticed when there's one person and he posts a wall of stuff, it actually gets transparent to where you can't see it because it's just complete spam. So it actually helps with spam a little bit. It's not like a spam filter. I just noticed when one person spams the chat, it actually ends up getting hidden most of the time. So that works out. Now, I remember I used to have a smaller chat, I believe, even though it's pretty big now. I think it was more like, honestly, I think it was like that before. I had like the smallest chat. But, I mean, you can make it bigger depending on how much you want. Now, we have this taken care of, which, like I said, I recommend having over here where you can actually see it a little bit better. I just laid it out of the way. We have this, I guess, oh, we have still a game setting. So, down here, this is what I use for, oh, it's on screen. It's on screen, we're gonna click that. So again, I made a whole video on that. It's just like a 2-minute video showing that you can click this. So I'm not going to explain it, but it's a colorblind setting, and I choose it because blue, black, spirit. So that was a whole video in itself, but there you go. Now that's finished. We just need to add the chat settings. So there are more chat settings. You can click and add a separate tab and do a lot of different stuff. You can choose to show everything or nothing at all. Now, really quickly, I'm just going to show you guys all of my chat setup. Okay, so for my chat, I use all 5 pretty much because I want to use as many as I can. They're just tabs, and they're just like, it doesn't really take up much more space since there already is a tab at default. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I have a use for all of them, trust me. I could probably use like 7 or 8, honestly. But 5 is the max. So the first one, honestly, is everything. Honestly, for me, I just want everything, at least in one tab, except for the system, because the system is literally spam. If you can see, this is all the system. There's really no point. Honestly, the system is the only thing that some of it has no use at all to me, anyways. But now that that's done, you won't see any more system pop up. It'll just be everything else. I don't even know what team is. I don't even know what team is yet. That's how I've played this game forever, and I don't even know what that is. But the second one is just going to be specifically whispers. I think it's really important to keep track of whispers sometimes in games, specifically this game. When you're a friend and you double click their name on that chat, I feel like that chat is so unreliable, and no one checks that chat. Everyone whispers in this game, so confirm. I'm gonna have whisper on there. The third one can be party, whisper, and guild, I would say, because those are the next things. The fourth one, I'm specifically going to do, this is for trying to like pre-order stuff or just seeing what's on the marketplace. I'm going to choose only the marketplace. So anything that goes up to the marketplace, I'm going to see on a tab. You can see these other things and you can do whatever. And then the fifth one, for just like video taking purposes, or even just like immersion purposes, I'm gonna turn literally everything off. And next time I log into this game, this chat will be like completely empty. So I don't even have to like go into this and hide it. It'll just be like if I click this tab, it'll be gone. And then if I want to, I can hover over it and click something else, and it'll be there. So that's a good tactic. The only problem with it again is like, since there's already stuff in the chat before that, there's gonna be stuff in the chat for the rest of this video. But if I restarted the game, this would be all gone, and that's kind of what I do to make videos, just on the fly. I don't like editing my actual UI very often. But yeah, so from now on you'll see actual like posts from those things. Of course, it's like the middle of the night, or I guess now it's in the morning, so literally no one's on. Otherwise you guys could see guild chat and other stuff. But something else you can do is change the colors. I mean, you can change all this: font size, display name, character family. That's a new option. Tons of stuff here, and you can use. Oh, I didn't even know you could do this. You can change this the chat scroll animation, because they have a new one and an old one. So you can click this. I guess it's do not use on default now. That's interesting. Oh, see, there you go. That's an example of spam. But when you're not over it, it's like invisible. So that was what I was talking about earlier, which is pretty nice. So you know, you don't even see their name. You scroll anywhere else, it's gone. And now if you like hover over off of it, it's already like this invisible anyways. So no one's really gonna read that if you have the simple UI setting on. But yeah, so okay, so going back to this, the thing I wanted to do is some of the colors I don't really like. Specifically the whisper color I don't like. So I actually choose just like a pink. It looks better. I don't know. It looks so much better. So, and you do have to set this for every single one. So let me just do that really quick. And I know some of them don't even have like whisper on it, but you might as well just do it in case you change settings. You might as well just have all the colors, just cause, in case you ever change these for other things. It'd just be odd if it was something else. Now, the only other things I would do is the system. I'm just gonna, for time's sake, I'm just gonna do it once. I'm just gonna change it to blood red, and that's literally my setup. So hopefully it's not even changing color. That's interesting, unless it hasn't done anything new. No, it's broken. That's weird. What if I type in reload UI? This is interesting. I'm doing this live. I want to see if it works. We're on 4. There's still stuff and it's not changing color. See, look at this. It just reverted. There we go. Okay. I mean, I might as well just leave that in the video. I don't know what happened, but that's that. That's what it was. That was what was supposed to happen. So it's the reason why it's like blood red is because I don't actually care about any of the text. I only care about the items. So I figured that'd be a cool kind of like dark color, just kind of like blurred out, in my opinion, and random person. Okay, so we're almost ready to work with our skills, but there's still some more stuff to do. You know, we might as well get everything over with first, and then worry about the skills at the end when we can celebrate of being done. So, in the game settings, all of the stuff that pops up, you can hide it all. You can actually hide every single thing. So turn off system notifications. Every single thing that you check off will be turned off in this notification right here. So combat and safe zone when you go in between them, ability increase when your ability increases, of course, acquired other items. What? Turn off notifications regarding items acquired by other adventurers. Oh, that's extremely useful. Okay, guild quest message. Now I own a guild, so honestly, like, I can't really do this because I really need to pay attention to guild missions and I want to do them. I feel like this is the only one that you shouldn't do because there's no reason to turn off your guild mission. If you're in a guild, you should probably try to help them with their guild mission. So we're just not going to check that. Everything else though, general trade, conquest, marketplace, depending on if you want to see that or not. It's so much spam though. Like, that's probably the most spam you could get, is having the marketplace one on. So we're just going to turn that off. Nearby monster, I don't really care. Imperial trading, guild war. This is like all guilds, so it doesn't really matter. You could have it on or off. You could have it in the system notification, I believe. Doesn't really matter though. Other life skills of like other players, just everyone, I guess. I almost forgot this last one. It says horse market and worker exchange. I just want to say the horse market is not the same as the marketplace, and I'm actually going to uncheck that because I still want a fucking T8 horse, don't we all? So if you guys want to see when a T8 horse pops up, make sure you uncheck that. Okay, just got to make sure I add that part in there because totally flew by me. Alright, so more settings. This one is just below where we just were. You can view pets or hide pets. It all depends. It doesn't really matter. But this one, mouse sensitivity. Personally, I have my mouse set at a very specific sensitivity, and I find the best sensitivity in game for my mouse sensitivity is just literally max. You really need fast sensitivity if you want to like do certain things. I mean, you can raise the sensitivity of your mouse, but I highly recommend setting the sensitivity to 100% in this game and then base your mouse around that, unless your mouse is at a specific setting like mine. If you find a sweet spot with your mouse setting already, that's good too. So just figure out what you want to do, but if your mouse can like change on the fly and you're just looking for a good sensitivity, I'd recommend having these to 100 and then try to figure out a good spot. But that's just my opinion. You can do whatever you want, whatever feels the best. So going down here, you can have a gamepad and all that stuff. I believe there's some other setting though. So if we go down here, adjust vision range. This might be it. So right now, this is the max we can zoom out. If we go to here, yes, that is what we want. And is there anything else? Zoom in and out effects, actions only. I don't know what that is. That didn't do anything. But the first one I did, the one down here. So adjust vision range. This is the one someone showed me. I didn't even know it existed. Someone showed me on stream and it was like revolutionizing. So it allows you to see so much more on your screen. You're more zoomed out. It's very nice. It just allows you to see more things and get a better glimpse of where you are. And I feel like it makes you feel faster anyways. Like the more zoomed out you are, the more smaller you are, but the more agile you seem. It's probably some psychological thing, but you know, it doesn't actually make you faster, trust me. But yeah, it's some pretty cool stuff. I honestly need this to kill stuff now and to like PvP. I think it's pretty much not required, but like highly recommended for you to be like zoomed out all the time to see what's going on. So that is definitely like a very good setting, and I think we got everything. I don't know why I just started running around. I think that's because it's time to start using skills and stuff. So let's get into moving these 20 skills. So really quickly, I just turned on all my skills and put them in the line so you guys can better see them, and also because where they were was hiding something. So the HP bar, I'm actually going to put all the way on the bottom, right here. All the way just right next to my chat. Now let's save that because I need to see, just for my video and live stream sake, if it's covering it. I need to use a skill because I'm hiding it naturally. But no, that's good. That's good placement. It just works perfectly in my chat. My chat's a little too big. That's the problem here. My chat needs to actually be over there. And I think now, if I move this to there, it'll be perfect because it even had some space. So yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so now the next two things. The PvP thing, this is honestly doesn't matter what you use to actually initiate PvP. If you're a PvPer, is Alt C. You're not gonna like try and randomly click this button, but I usually just put it at the end of the HP MP bar. Why not? Now the Black Spirit's Rage, honestly, for a Dark Knight, it's very important that you see this because you don't want to waste your 100% on like our bad 100% skills. So it depends on what the class, depends on how often you do this. Like if you're going to be spamming the skill that you're going to 100% anyways, it doesn't matter. But if you're like needing to save your 100% or use a certain 100% if you have multiples, it's generally very important to look at. And I like putting it actually where my HP bar is above my thing. So we're going to be moving this later on. But if you didn't really need to look at it, you could put it down here too. It doesn't really matter. And I mean, this is just my setup, so this is just my thought process, but I mean, you could do whatever you want. I keep saying that because, like, honestly, you can. The amazing thing about this UI thing is you can literally do whatever, and I'm probably going to change my whole UI setup, like, probably like once a month, at least. Like, small things, like just moving things, but I think I have what I have now down. So, basically, I have 6 things I have quick slots for, and then I think another 7 things I have for just looking at cooldowns, because the cooldowns, I believe, are this skill cooldown. Oh wait, let's let's go back. The skill cooldown right here, and we're gonna put this somewhere down here. We'll move that later. But when you use skills, if you look at where it is, that's actually almost perfect where I wanted it, but they move depending on what skill's what. So yeah, see how they like move around? It's really, really annoying. So most likely, if you can like hotbar a skill, if you can just drag it down, it'll show you the cooldown, of course, and then you can see like better which one works. And let me just do that so you guys can see everything a little bit better. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do with like UI, and if you can put a skill on a hotbar, even if you're not going to use it on a hotbar, it's still good to see like another cooldown, just like make sure if it's on cooldown, off cooldown, etc. So extremely useful. And yeah, so 6 and 7 I think, and then I use all the other skills or slots for like life skilling, potions, etc. I mean, honestly, I wish you could have a lot more than 20, but you can't, so kind of sucks. I'm gonna try and mimic what I had last time. Alright, I just want to show you guys my thought process on how to edit UI. So I have my Black Spirit's Rage right here and my quick slot 1 right here. I have not moved my camera angle, and that's because like when you re-log into BDO, the camera angle always resets. It's always in between your names here, like somewhere in between there. So generally this is here. Like the only thing that I really have to change if it's off is Black Spirit's Rage. So like if I log in and it's slightly off, then I'll just readjust this, but you can see it's right there, and my name's kind of over here. So I'll just literally randomly drag it, save, see if it's close. I kind of want this like right in the middle of there, so I'm gonna bring it down, and I just go through this process of doing this. This is how annoying the UI is to like edit every single time, and you can see it's kind of close. I'm gonna jam it like that. See, that's good, it's just barely there. Now, this skill I'm actually going to keep here. It's just perfectly on the right of this, and like, this is actually a good video because I can rewatch this video and teach myself how to do this in the future when I run into the same exact problems. So I have like this UI here. It was originally down, but it automatically dragged up. You know, I have my chat bar, and now I can remember my skill goes exactly right here. Now, I have the first 4 quick slots I have are for like the first 4 buttons of my keyboard. I actually use them, and then like the rest is all like key bindings to other buttons. So I'll explain them as we go. But this button right here, auto align slot, allows me to like move this. If it goes anywhere next to this one, it auto aligns like up to like that close. So you can see it automatically sticks there, but you don't need to do this. And in fact, in order to do certain things, I actually have to turn it off. So there you can edit like very close things, and you can make them overlap and do interesting things. So I'll be showing you guys how I use that, but we'll auto align it for now because we want it to like look symmetrical. You know, everything I do I think is pretty much symmetrical. Like this one is 1 pixel off. Let me just fix that. I mean, it's so annoying. I really hate seeing things that are off. But anyways, so 1 2 3 4. Now let me see how else I had it set up last time. This is how annoying it is. I have to go back and forth and like make sure everything is like perfect. Okay, so what I did for 1 through 10, basically, so we have 1 through 4. I actually clicked those on my keyboard. 5 and 6, I mean, they're kind of farther away with your left hand. You're not going to be clicking 5 and 6 that often. I have them for like elixirs or food or whatever I want to hotbar at the time. So we're going to move these, I guess over here for just a second. Now, 7 and 8 and 9 and 0 are all key binded. So 7 and 8 are actually my HP and MP potions because I do use them a lot, like both of them for all characters, etc. So I have them bound to my mouse. Now my mouse actually has 4 key bindings, so it has 2 for the thumb and 2 for my pointer finger. So I guess we're gonna do 6 and 7, or I mean 7 and 8. So I know it's confusing. This is just how I do it. So I believe it's 7, and then I actually overlap my potions. So this one will be 8, and I just like the eye slightly above. And okay, so this is the problem. You don't want auto align when you're trying to overlay because that happens. You take that off and do like that. You click save. There you go. You have 2 things overlapped. So you can put your HP, and I don't have any MP. There we go. So there you go. So you can see both things. and they work with my mouse. You can hear my mouse on my, I guess you might be able to hear that it's on the right side. I doubt it. Anyways, so that's that, and we have much more to go. I think we're almost done. So finally, 5 and 6, like I said, are like my elixirs. We're gonna auto align to that. I can hop by whatever there later. 5 and 6, it's just there because that's the last things I actually click on my keyboard. The rest are just because they're just in order, and then the rest after that are just gonna be there just to like look at or click or whatever on in game. But 9 and 0, or well 9 and 10, these are gonna be what I actually have keybinded on my mouse for attacking skills. So these are gonna be back up in this category of attacking skills, and we're gonna have to not click this, and we're gonna overlap again. So we're gonna put it not where these are, they're kind of more overlapped. We're just gonna put it like a third instead of 2/3 into it, and we're gonna put it kinda in the middle, so it's like not on that eye, but entirely encased by this one, but not by this one. That's kind of like how I orient them in the middle. And then we're gonna auto align this one to this one, and it kind of like goes. Now it is very annoying if you want to hide these, because you have to click this, or like you have to make it like over here, hide it, make it go back. It's really annoying. I just would not do it. I would just show everything at all times. But that's why I ended up having my UI so annoyingly on screen at all times. But yeah, so now the rest of them don't really matter what order they are. They're just buttons on the screen. And we're gonna put 7 over here for more skills. Hopefully this is exactly in line with that one. Who actually knows? We're gonna auto line the rest of them. We're gonna do 3 overlaps. We'll just overlap them later, and the last of them will be auto lined over here. And like I said, let's click this just to overlap them. So exactly the same thing that I have on the other side. And I'm just eyeballing it. It's never gonna be perfect, which sucks, but that's the best I got for auto lining skills. And there we go. I thought that wasn't gonna work. I think we covered most everything. I think I can finally game in peace. And also, like, these skills just barely end up at the end here. I think that's what my original basis was on, was the right side, not the chat bar. So you know what I would do next is I would orient everything like in between the main menu and the chat, like over left a little bit, so it's showing more. I think if you have a coupon, there'll be another button. So these are just future like things to get things out of the way. It's just I don't know, if you want the UI in BDO to look like this and be nice, it's gonna take some time. So I guess next up I'm gonna fill these with actual skills that I actually use, so you guys can understand what I actually use them for. Alright, so I went ahead and I actually moved this. Oh, you can't even see my cursor. There we go. This up here, I moved it up. I actually made my chat a little bit smaller, and I moved everything to the left. I think we're almost done, so we're going to save all that. And I also moved all my skills on there. So these are all my real skills. I have them in the exact same order I had them in before, because, for example, all these 4 movement skills, these 2 are my main skills, this is my main buff. And all of 6 of these skills are keybinded because I actually click the keys on here to hit them. 1 through 4 I actually click on my keyboard, and 9 and 0 are keybinded to my mouse. I also click 5, 6, which are down here. I don't do it often, but I do it for like food buffs, or when I'm in the desert I would definitely have one of them assigned to the tea or the water, etc. Usually I'll have like an elixir down there, and I'm usually popping 2 different things at the same time. So I definitely use both those quick slots a lot, and of course I have 2 on my mouse again for HP and MP potions. I don't even have any MP, but it would be there if I did. And I have some room for like 3 extra buttons for whatever. You know, I have the costume bag that I can just click while waiting. There we go. And I have like another button. I mean, I could probably put my other offhand there too, and that would fulfill that process, but I'll probably fill it with other things. I ended up filling it with food, I think, last time. So, I mean, you'll probably have more than one piece of food, so you can just fill it all up. I mean, that's like a perfect amount of skills for everything. Like, honestly, it accomplished all my needs. Like, it's really awesome. I don't know if it'll be the same for the other classes. I'm gonna be trying out the other classes, like actually giving them a chance in their awakening form, since I got most of them the 56 already. So it'll be interesting to see if I can use the same layout of UI on all the other classes. Some I'm sure will have more skill, like hotbar things, some will have less. I could steal like from each side or whatever, or just assign more things. I'm not really sure. But I think we've covered everything. Oh, okay, so there is one more thing in the edit UI you can move, the skill cooldown. So you can't like edit the buffs up here or the buffs down here, but you can edit the skill cooldowns. And I was showing you guys earlier when you attack. And you can also, when I attack, you can see my HP and MP bar. It's down there, and like everything lines up perfectly. The chat's here, like everything's perfect. I guess if I was nitpicky, I'd move this thing over like a few pixels. It doesn't really matter though. But yeah, if you use my skills, you can see, if I can use enough, you can see like 4 on 8, and I actually have it in the perfect spot already, so I'm not going to move it because I happen to land it perfectly, but basically I have it slightly above the HP bar, slightly to the left, and in between cuts I saw that it was like almost perfect already and that it just needed to be moved up. If you saw in the beginning of the video, it was actually like this was like touching the HP bar, so I just moved it a tad bit up and it looks like it's aligned perfectly, so I'm not going to touch it because it's perfect. And I think that's everything. So that is my entire UI setup. The reason why my HP and MP bars are different colors is the same reason why my Black Spirit's blue, and I made a video on that. If you didn't see it in this video, even though I did it again, I mean, you guys can check that out. That's pretty much the only super interesting thing I have. Everything else is just that like I moved things out of the way, and like I made things work for my stream template, and I have my most important skills where I need them, as well as in my Black Spirit's Rage. So I guess since we're finally done, the reason why I moved this here, I never really explained, is because my HP and MP bar are here too. I don't really look at this on the bottom of my screen. I do when I'm looking at my skills down here, but it's good to have 2 bars, and I'm constantly looking at my actual small bar of my character, because I'm usually looking at what I'm killing in front of me. I'm usually looking left and right on for my cooldowns, and I'm usually looking at that. So everything below and above is kind of like out of sight at that point. And I think there is one last thing I'll show you guys. Now, I don't use this anymore, mainly because I wanted to make videos and live stream in the full resolution of my screen. But if you guys wanted to see, originally I had gray bars on the bottom and top of my screen. I think this might actually help people with FPS issues. If you want a smaller screen resolution and you want it to actually look nice and perform better actually on just a smaller screen resolution, you can actually crop the screen. Now if we click apply, there we go, it's cropped. Now you can apply how much crop, but basically the reason why I think this is awesome is because even with it cropped, even with the game screen being small, you can still have your settings above the cropped area. So you can put all your UI above and below, and you can still like see the game. You can actually see more of the game because there's less stuff covering it. So I think that's amazing. If I was going the cropped route, I'd probably put my skills above or below as well. But honestly, for PvP, I want the full screen and I want it like really close to what I'm looking at. So it kind of depends. But if you want like that cropped look, you could definitely move all the skills like out of the crop. You can move the chat. This is the smallest. It goes like up and down. You can see it goes up but not down. But you can move the crop up and down as well, and you can move pretty much everything else above and below except for the minimap and the chat. So I think that's it. We'll go in here and need to undo the crop. You can even crop it both ways. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you can like make this. You can make it less or more crop. So there you go. I'm just going to have it not cropped at all because again, I want to have the full screen effect. And the one other thing I don't like about cropping is when you hit Control U and see this, it'll still be cropped if you have the cropping option on. So for example, if you do click that and then do that, you'll still have the crop, so it'll like literally limit your entire screen to that new resolution with the crop. So it's not always preferable, and it's kind of annoying going back and forth between them. So just to take screenshots and just to make a video, it's kind of annoying, so that's why I no longer use that. You guys will still see that in my intro because I did take a few clips that I still use in my intros. That's kind of why I'm explaining that, because there's still stuff that I put out where it has like those bars in the intro and stuff. So that was like my like 3 month phase of cropping when I had bad FPS, I guess. But yeah, I think that's everything. Thanks guys so much for watching. Hopefully this cleared up any issues with the UI. I'm sure this has been a tremendously long video, but I mean, this is what I needed to do in order to play BDO again. Like, this is the first thing I do after install, set up my UI, and as annoying as it is, it looks really, really nice now. And I can carry on playing in a very nice looking game. Alright, so yeah, thanks again, and I'll see you guys next time. So before I upload this video, there's a few more things I changed after I made this video. So here are the things I changed really quick. The chat is now smaller. It is as small as it can be as far as like the height, and it will be updated on my future videos. I just made that change pretty much just like today, the day of uploading this. Some other things though I want to go over. There are 3 changes in the settings I also want to do. So if we go in settings, the only things I don't have like that will like are more for performance and not like aesthetics. Like it's basically to make my computer run better, give me FPS. Is high-end mode is the only thing I don't have in graphics. It is way too intense. I have a GTX 970 on my website. I have all my specs for my computer, but my 970 and my i7 CPU just cannot handle high-end mode. As well as the number one thing for I think to aid on FPS, just like that few FPS boost, is this. I uncheck it and it gives me a few extra FPS in whether I have high-end mode on or not. So having this unchecked definitely gives you an FPS boost, I believe. And also auto frame optimizer, I'm not too sure how much this affects anything. I have it on and set to 60, but I'm looking on opinions on that. That's the only thing I wasn't able to test and see any results with, so I'm not really sure. It may be with my setup, it just is not needed, but I think it sometimes having it on, like, I think having it on for sure helps. I think having it on 60 for my setting may be good. I don't really know. Maybe it should be set to 20 or like something else. So that is the only setting I'm not sure on. And last but not least, I can't believe I forgot this. If we scroll down all the way down on game to language, uncheck the chat filter, because I'm a real man. I guess I just like saying swear words in chat, and I've had that on for too many days and I didn't know where to like do that. It's in your settings, so in the game settings, confirm. That is all that I left out of the video, and I got it into the video before uploading it, so I think I'm good. I'm sure I missed something else, but this has been a long video, and that is the end things that I forgot a few days ago. So there you guys go. Enjoy.